Hello, Maximus again here with quick battle. This is Lusitani versus Arverni, and I'm going to go over the build of my opponent first. He has spear nobles on the left flank and levy freemen, chosen swords up in the center, Celtic warriors and levy freemen. He's got some Celtic youths up front, and his cavalry contingent is light horse, and noble horse with some savage dogs. Now, just judging by the builds, you can see that my opponent is going to have a very bad day on the field. He's chosen to give most of his infantry units some veterancy, which isn't really the best of ideas. You could also see how quickly this match will be over by the timer here. Now, my army consists of Lusitani nobles up front, 4 of them. That's going to hurt. I've got 6 Iberian swords in the back, 2 Iberian slingers as skirmishers, some Scutari on the flanks, and some Cantabrian cavalry on each flank just to harass, and 2 units of Scutari cavalry. Now, my opponent is very bunched up here. There is no reason to have formations this deep against the Lusitani. It's a very bad idea for several reasons. You'll take more casualties from skirmishing, you'll be enveloped a lot easier. So this is not something you want to do against the skirmish heavy Lusitani build. However, I don't see this force standing up to what the Lusitani can bring in any capacity. It's not a particularly strong build, a bit strange, I think, but we'll see how it goes. I'm not going to do anything really fancy here. I'm just sending up my Iberian slingers to, I think I'm shooting at his Gallic hunters here, and because even these are not the strongest of missile units, they can pose some problems to my lightly armored Iberians here, and they are dropping fairly quickly. I make sure to focus fire on one unit, so I'm inflicting maximum casualties there. And I'm not going to give him any time to skirmish and throw his javelins. These are just my Cantabrian cavalry is just posted at the rear here to wait for the opportunity to rear charge. And now here you can see the disadvantage. I'm just going to pause here for a second, because with his cavalry isn't really a threat, and now I can move forward in lines of 2. I can maximize the killing power of my Lusitani nobles, and as you can see here, I'm able to cover 3 of his units with 1 of mine. So that is going to be disastrous from my opponent, as you're going to be able to see in a minute here. So he's reforming, but he's just going to, it looks like he's just going to eat the charge, which is even worse for him. He's popping the ability of the Arverni general. I'm not really sure what it does, because I haven't played with Arverni in ages. My Lusitani nobles are dropping, as you can see. They got charged by 3 units. So over here they are losing the current combat against all these units, spear nobles and levy freemen and such. So I'm bringing my Cantabrians to make them shake a bit in their pants, but this is where it's at. My Iberian swords are hammering them with javelins, while they are engaged by very strong melee units here. And my Cantabrian cavalry are able to fire missiles at will, and I believe I'm charging them in here just for some more morale damage. And you can see even chosen swordsmen, even though they have both of the abilities activated, they are wavering all across the line. And over here, my Scutari spearmen, since there wasn't any cavalry, were able to come in for some charges. I'm pulling out my Cantabrian cavalry, drawing away his light horse. And these Iberian swords are just standing there shooting. Now his general is still alive, I believe, or was he annihilated? I think he was in a cavalry unit. Now anyway, you can see the casualties caused here by the damage is causing it's causing his entire army to basically just to chain rout. So I believe I killed his general. Let's see. Shattered army loses. Well, This type of rush build is all about causing maximum casualties in as little time as possible, so it's acceptable to lose some Lusitani nobles there. But against this kind of Lusitani army, you have to have a skirmishing advantage. You have to use your cavalry. Heavy cavalry could just smash through these thin lines and into the men at the back and cause some serious problems. But with a thick formation like that and with a kind of mixed bag of units, you're going to have a really bad time on the field against this kind of Lusitani army. So thanks for watching, and I'll hope to see you again soon. Just little comments on the end here. Here you can see his army, and he only really had 3 strong melee units, which is disastrous against the very melee-dependent Lusitani. He had the chosen swords and the spear nobles, and he wasted a lot of points on leveling up these, giving them some chevrons and some veterancy. As you can see, I didn't really get a whole lot of kills on my Lusitani nobles. It can be argued if they were cost effective. However, in this type of build, where the aim is to basically just cause as many casualties as possible, they did fairly well. But it needs to be said that this would be a lot harder against an opponent that chose a stronger sword build and maybe left the Celtic youths at home, took more slingers. Then Arverni could really do some damage, and some also noble horse can do well against the lightly armored Lusitani. But anyway, thanks again, and see you again.